Hello everyone, back with another art video. As promised, I'm going to be editing that Superman picture into more different characters. This theme is actually mashups or amalgam. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation, but there's a time where they had DC versus Marvel comics and they had like a little mashup universe where you just combine the characters between the Marvel and DC universe. So yeah, there's no reason I have to limit myself to just Marvel and DC. Yeah, so this one is Super Radioactive Man. So yeah, mostly just combining Superman with characters similar to Superman. I don't know if their intention was to like rip off, make their own version of Superman, but it certainly on the surface feels like that. Yeah, so Radioactive Man, if you don't know, he's from The Simpsons, or specifically Bongo Comics is, I guess, the actual company that publishes the comics. But yeah, Bongo Comics is created by Matt Groening to create Simpsons comics, Futurama comics, probably other comics as well. Radioactive Man comics. Not to be confused by the Marvel Radioactive Man. So yeah, so it's just the Radioactive Man, mostly Radioactive Man, but with a Superman type outfit with the Superman symbol, emblem, and the Superman underwear on top. Yeah, but the rest is mostly designed after Radioactive Man. Yeah, so hopefully you can tell it's supposed to be Superman and Radioactive Man. Of course, like I said, trying to be all neurotic and or writing details, captions and stuff of who these characters are supposed to be. And of course, the first one was in the Radioactive Man colors. And this one is more of Superman colors. I mean, exactly like Superman colors. Doing my best to replicate Superman colors. So yeah. So you would want, if you prefer the more like Radioactive Man color or the Superman color, it makes it almost like an entirely different character. Even. And here's Super Sentry, Superman from DC, and Sentry from Marvel. Now, he has to be a Superman knockoff, right? Because he has a S. He has a freaking S, but it's on his belt, not on the chest. But yeah, I feel like Sentry is definitely meant to be a Superman knockoff. They have lots of them. Gladiator, Hyperion. There's even a Skrull that he was he was raised on a farm, and then he becomes a reporter at the Daily Bugle, I believe, with Spider-Man. And he even wears glasses. Like, yeah, that one is definitely a direct Superman knockoff or homage. Or the difference between parody and homage and knockoff is probably thin, very thin line. Yeah, so here's Super Sentry in the Sentry colors, and with the long hair, he reminds me of the Nicolas Cage edition of Superman, especially when you put in the Superman colors. Maybe not exactly like Nicolas Cage, but definitely with with the colors and then the long hair, it does look like a Nicolas Cage Superman. Yeah. So this one, I didn't even change the belt. I just kept the Superman belt as is. But of course, I used the gloves, and you can probably tell a lot of these I'm just making minor edits. Like I'm reusing the same gloves as um, Radioactive Man, and obviously the same logo as Superman. And then here's Superion, which is Superman and Hyperion from Marvel, another DC Marvel mashup. Hyperion is also uh, pastiche, pastiche meant to be a Marvel version of Superman. So here's created. This one is This one is based on the Squadron Sinister version, which was meant to be an evil version of Superman. But also, oh wait, this is the second one actually, because the first one he has a mask around his eyes. Yeah, but the color scheme is definitely of the first one. Yeah, so even for like Hyperion is meant to be like a knockoff of Superman, they still ended up making like a million versions of them. Not as many versions as Superman, or maybe other Marvel characters, but Hyperion is pretty big for a Superman knockoff. For a character meant to be like a knockoff or a ripoff or homage or whatever, he there's a lot of versions for him, and he's pretty popular. And I read that they might have him in like the Eternals movie because he's an Eternal. So yeah, he's also an alien. Some versions of him he is like pretty much a ripoff of Superman. But yeah, and here's the Superman colors. And I just noticed while drawing this, like, how the hell does the cape go on both sides when it's clearly only attached to one part of the costume? Makes no sense. But yeah, that's how they draw it. Defies physics. A lot of comic book stuff defies physics, defies reality. Like their shirts, pants, everything is super skin tight. You can see all the abs, the muscles, every single line of the muscles. Even like the early Iron Man comics, where he's clearly wearing armor, you can still see all the lines of his muscles through the armor, which makes no sense. That like that would have to be like molded armor, specifically fitting like skin tight armor, molded with all the curves of the muscles. Like yeah, that would very much prohibit mobility. So like yeah. Anyway, but like yeah, super unrealistic, but I was too lazy to like actually turn the shirt, like the arm, into a usable, like a more realistic shirt. And it definitely looks cooler like this, even if it's unrealistic. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like drawing cartoon style, comic style. Well, not. I mean, I'm trying to draw a comic style. By comic style, I mean just like referencing it. But in general, I don't really draw too much realism. Definitely, my art would be fails in terms of realism. But yeah, here's Super Punch Man, Superman, and One Punch Man combined. One Punch Man is from manga and more. I watched the anime on Netflix. Where the hell is season two? I saw the season one, but where the hell is season two? But yeah, I don't know if he's meant to be a Superman knockoff, but like in some of the panels, he does look huge and bulky and muscular like Superman. But most of the times, in the anime and the comics, manga, he's like a super thin, like his body for his like yeah, super thin, like unrealistically thin as well. Yeah. Shit. Excuse me. Yeah, my bad. Gesundheit. Is that what they say? Yeah. So Super Punch Man. He's Superman and One Punch Man. Again, uh, always keeping that logo in mind. I actually did cheat and look up One Punch Man symbol, and it was a fist. Makes sense because he's known for the punching, right? So just have the fist as the logo. Makes perfect sense. And I did modify the belt a little to match his One Punch Man style belt and the cape as well. And here's One Punch Man in Superman colors. And if you didn't notice, there's a little highlight on the bald spot. Little shiny bald spot. Yeah. Just for him, because he's bald. And here's the Superman colors, like I said. He totally just looks like a bald Superman with a different logo. I mean, that's the great part of these mashups, right? Just turning them into clones. But yeah, so that's it. That's the last one. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know down below, you know. And if there's any specific characters you want to see me draw or mash up or whatever, post them. Post the request down below. I'll try to get to it. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.